The 10 dirtiest jobs in the world. Just 1 second on the job would make anyone uncomfortable, yet they can earn millions of dollars in a single assignment. The number 1 job on our list makes people worldwide cringe in disgust. Before we begin, we should clarify. The dirty in this video refers to the working environment, or the psychological discomfort these jobs create. It does not involve any moral judgments. In this episode of Guidepedia, we'll explore together some of the world's most bizarre occupations. Click subscribe, and let's begin our journey. Armpit sniffers. This is a job with quite an aroma. Just wiggle your nose and earn millions of dollars annually. Would you dare to try it? For the perfume and personal care industry, armpit sniffers play a crucial role. They must test how long fragrances last. When subjects use perfumes or deodorants, regularly smelling the subject's armpits, recording scent changes over time to evaluate product effectiveness and longevity. Daily, they work in high-temperature rooms, sniffing up to 60 armpits every hour, rating them on a scale from 1 to 10 to determine which ingredients deliver the best results. The scene looks quite intense. Moreover, companies always manage to find those nuclear-level, epic scale, world-destroying body odor champions to help you experience their product's power. However, this strong-flavor job has surprisingly high requirements. Sniffers must possess extremely sensitive noses, capable of distinguishing subtle scent variations and differences. Additionally, they need strong verbal communication skills to accurately describe the various odors detected through their sense of smell. Based on experience and seniority, some armpit sniffers can earn up to $2 million a year. Friends with sensitive noses, would you dare to give it a try? Poop collectors. Though this profession sounds dirty, it has quite a distinguished history. Those luxury brand leather goods established centuries ago all owe their existence to the contributions of this occupation. Freshly harvested animal hides cannot be directly made into leather goods because untreated hides are extremely stiff, resembling orange peels that have dried for several days, making them completely unusable. The tanning process transforms these hides into supple leather. Before the birth of chemical tanning agents in 1858, the most widely used tanning agent was actually small animal excrement, because feces contain abundant bacteria and microorganisms. Simultaneously, the remaining nutrients serve as culture medium for microbes. The protein and lipid enzymes released by these microorganisms could soften the originally rigid leather. Not to mention the visually disturbing production process. Workers also had to endure various foul odors, which was certainly no easy task. When excrement became an essential industrial material in the leather-making process, the thriving tanning industry in Paris, France, created a phenomenon where demand for feces exceeded supply, thus giving birth to the new profession of poop collectors. In that era, seeing groups of children employed to collect excrement was a common sight. Based on the weight of the feces collected, they could earn 1 to 3 francs daily. Of course, in modern society, this technique has gradually been replaced by industrialized tanning agents, and this profession has slowly disappeared into the river of history. After learning about this occupation, when you next see someone selling traditionally tanned leather bags, will you still feel the urge to purchase one? Internet content moderators. When you first hear about this profession, you might think content moderators spend their days in clean offices, far removed from anything unsavory. But the reality isn't quite so simple. Nearly every internet company requires content moderators, also known as internet janitors. They review online content daily, protecting our eyes and minds. But in reality, as the filters of the digital world, they suffer from negative information overload. According to most internet companies' regulations, content moderators cannot disclose the details of their work. In other words, they must remain invisible to the public eye, processing alone the negative content that most people couldn't bear. For most moderators, Viewing disturbing or age-restricted horrific content is simply part of their daily routine. These unsettling images often appear without warning, delivering massive visual and emotional shocks. Due to long-term exposure to bizarre videos, many moderators have become desensitized, losing their ability to distinguish normal from abnormal. As the demand for content moderators grows, reports of psychological trauma among these workers have increased. The dirtiness of this job isn't about poor working conditions, but rather how it pollutes one's soul. Though the risks are high, the compensation can be substantial. According to reports, content moderators at foreign internet companies earn around $18 per hour, with some making annual salaries up to $40,000. Compared to physically dirty environments, perhaps mental contamination is even harder to accept. Sperm whale excrement collectors. Most people wrinkle their noses and walk away when they encounter feces, but some individuals eagerly pursue sperm whale excrement, turning disgusting waste into treasured finds. Fans of historical dramas may have heard of the famous ambergris. This precious fragrance originates from sperm whales. Not every bowel movement contains ambergris. It's a waxy substance that occasionally forms in the sperm whale's intestinal tract, and these droppings aren't ambergris themselves. Only after undergoing a series of processes do they transform into the renowned ambergris. High-quality ambergris is incredibly sought after. Records show 220 pounds of ambergris is worth about $2.7 million. More precious than gold. Finding just one piece could provide financial security for life. These substantial rewards have given birth to the profession of sperm whale excrement collectors, who spend their days following whale droppings. Though this job offers tremendous compensation, it comes with hardships most people can't imagine. A sperm whale can produce several hundred pounds of feces at once. These droppings can spread nearly 100 feet in seawater. Collectors who get close to sperm whales end up covered in excrement from head to toe, severely testing one's willpower. Additionally, this work demands intense physical labor, requiring long periods patrolling the waters where sperm whales reside. This not only demands extensive marine biology knowledge, but also skilled boat operation abilities. It's not something just anyone can do. After learning about this profession that could make you rich overnight, are you tempted to give it a try? Marine mucilage scientists. Also working in the ocean, marine mucilage scientists don't enjoy such high financial rewards. Marine mucilage diving is an emerging profession, only appearing in public view around 2003. Yet as soon as it emerged, it was named by Popular Science as the worst job of the year in the scientific community. With rising ocean temperatures over recent decades, massive formations of mucus-like substances have been appearing more frequently in our oceans. These slimes initially smell like seafood, but eventually transform into a rotten egg odor. Absolutely unbearable. These blob-like mucilage masses attach to various dead shrimp or fish, breeding viruses and bacteria, causing severe seawater pollution. The largest formations can stretch up to 120 miles long. To study this mysterious substance, scientists must put on diving suits and plunge directly into this ocean snot, using oversized syringes to collect mucilage samples before bringing them back to the laboratory for research. These scientific researchers make tremendous personal sacrifices for the advancement of humanity. Truly admirable. Although the financial rewards of this job cannot be directly expressed in numbers, nevertheless, it brings countless intellectual assets to the scientific community. Noble vomit collectors. The job of noble vomit collectors is exactly as the name suggests. They collected the vomit of aristocrats. In Roman times, royal family members lived excessively lavish lifestyles. Though they consumed all manner of exotic delicacies daily, they remained unsatisfied to consume even more fine cuisine. The nobles began inducing vomiting, eventually reaching a point where Roman aristocrats couldn't even be bothered to leave the room to vomit. Thus, the profession of noble vomit collectors emerged. They were typically slaves of the royal aristocrats. These unfortunate souls would crawl around under dining tables, cleaning the floors. If lucky enough, they might catch their master's vomit with a bowl. But if unlucky, the vomit might land directly on their heads. Even worse, without their master's permission, they couldn't leave the banquet room, being covered in vomit, yet unable to immediately change into clean clothes. This was certainly one of the most wretched scenarios imaginable. Elephant veterinarians. If the previous occupations only involved either physical or psychological filth, then this next profession delivers a double whammy to both environment and psyche. Due to the unique size of elephants, when elephant veterinarians perform internal examinations, they must insert half their body into the elephant's rectum to directly touch and examine the animal's internal organs. Furthermore, many aging elephants develop difficulties with bowel movements. These fecal impactions caused by constipation can grow larger than a human head. If not removed promptly, they cause the elephant severe discomfort. To treat elephant constipation, veterinarians must insert their arms into the elephant's rear end to help the animal defecate. This job not only involves an unspeakable environment, but also requires tremendous courage from the examiner. Despite the filthy and exhausting nature of the work, the compensation is pitifully low, with starting monthly salaries as little as $500. If not for genuine passion for this profession, surely no one would choose this career path. Sumo buttock cleaners. Would you wipe someone's bottom every day for a monthly salary of $8,000? Sumo wrestling is Japan's national sport, and sumo wrestlers hold prestigious positions in Japanese society. Participants in sumo competitions must meet strict requirements. Their weight must reach certain thresholds, which explains why the sumo wrestlers we see have massive bodies and imposing physiques. Such obesity naturally brings many inconveniences to the wrestlers' daily lives. For instance, after using the toilet, personal hygiene becomes a significant challenge. The job of sumo buttock cleaners is to help these wrestlers clean themselves after using the bathroom. At first glance, buttock cleaners seem to simply wipe the wrestlers' bottoms, but in reality, it's not as simple as it appears. Due to the unique workplace environment, the buttock cleaners work in extremely confined spaces, since toilets are already small, and sumo wrestlers have enormous bodies, occupying most of the available space. Workers are typically required to be small in stature, able to move freely in tight quarters. If taller or larger people attempted this job, they would undoubtedly find it impossible to maneuver. While helping sumo wrestlers clean themselves after using the toilet may not sound dignified, the compensation is remarkably generous. According to reports, Japanese buttock cleaners earn monthly salaries, averaging around $8,000, not including additional benefits. Calculated annually, their income can exceed $100,000. It's precisely because of these high wages that many people are eager to try this profession. The groom of the stool. Compared to attending to sumo wrestlers' needs, serving a king on the toilet was an even more coveted position. From the 15th to 17th centuries, English kings assigned a peculiar job to fortunate noblemen, attending to the king during toilet visits. This person was typically a nobleman's son, who would monitor the king's bowel movements, carrying a portable commode daily, covered with pink velvet, along with a water bowl and towels, to assist His Majesty with such needs. If the king traveled, he would journey alongside the king and his portable toilet. Though research remains somewhat unclear about whether the groom of the stool actually wiped the king's bottom after he finished, he certainly helped the king dress. By the reign of Henry VIII, the groom's role had significantly expanded, beyond caring for the king's toilet needs, to monitoring the king's bowel health. If these were his only duties, this position would hardly qualify as a promising career. What made the groom of the stool position desirable were the invisible benefits it offered. They served as the king's chief personal attendant and head chamberlain of the Privy Council, gaining immediate access to crucial state intelligence, even handling financial matters. For these reasons, the groom of the stool held an enviable status. Many nobles competed fiercely for this coveted position. However, this practice also carried demeaning connotations, showing little respect for human dignity, and was eventually abolished. Bangladesh sewer cleaners. Groundwater pollution in Bangladesh is extremely severe. Sewers frequently overflow with wastewater after rainfall, mixed with garbage, excrement, and decomposing matter, while others desperately avoid these areas. Bangladesh sewer cleaners must enter the sewers naked, cleaning them with their bare hands. During their work, these substances inevitably enter the cleaners' bodies. They can only spit them out using their mouths. Waste and garbage rotting in the sewers produce toxic gases, but the cleaners lack funds for gas masks. Every year, workers tragically die on the job. Their only tool is a long stick. Each workday brings life-threatening risks. Since Bangladesh is an Islamic country, these essential cleaning tasks are assigned to families of lower castes. The cleaners not only hold low social status, but despite risking their lives daily, earn monthly wages less than $400. Though their income is meager, it brings eagerly anticipated food to their families. The people in this place face difficulties beyond our imagination, yet display more smiles on their faces. Bangladesh's cleaners, though working in extremely filthy environments, earn every penny honestly, deserving our respect. After watching this video, what are your thoughts? Friends watching at home? Feel free to share in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like Guidepedia. We'll bring you more fascinating content next time.